Very proud of my kids, the way that they came out. It wasn't always pretty. They'll be the first to admit that. But it was a very resilient effort by everyone. Give credit to North Carolina. I told the TV analyst, they came in and spoke to me before the game. I said, essentially what we could do is just put 5 minutes on the clock and say, hey, let's just figure it out. And lo and behold, it happened twice, and taking it to an overtime. But that's just because it's two teams that are extremely familiar with each other. We know their plays, they know our plays. We're trying to tweak things, they're trying to tweak things, and it's just going to be who's going to will themselves to win. So obviously these two, they played well. They didn't have their normal shooting nights, but they put a lot of pressure on North Carolina. But we had some people who stepped up. Matilda Eck hit some big shots for us, especially in the overtime period. Carly Wenzel, got us going in the first half, hit a couple big threes, and then Olivia and Claire Strack, they had very positive minutes for us, and really helped us over the top. So proud of the group. This win will go a long way, but we're looking forward to getting back and relaxing a little bit and letting them recoup.
Start, Mark.
For anybody, the fact you're able to win this game on the road against a good team, even though it was not a good shooting day for your team and you guys made a lot of turnovers, what does that perhaps tell you about your team?
I think it's shown our growth, even in just the past month or so. We took some hard losses away earlier in ACC play, but I think having this one under our belt and getting the Syracuse win as well has shown how we've been able to come together and finish games. And even through adversity, I think other players are able to step up a lot more and have more confidence, and that's going to be huge for us if we want to make deep runs.
Stay on the right with Mitchell.
Georgia, when the kind of final seconds were taken off, I saw you give the Virginia Tech fans one of these. I know you've played for a big crowd this year on the road. How good did it feel to get an overtime win like this and have a large portion of your own fans here?
Yeah, it was really fun. Didn't expect that many people to come. I think we had a whole section on either side, which is insane to have. But it's not a quick drive, so we really appreciate everyone coming down, and it gives us a little bit of comfort. And hearing the "Let's Go Hokies" chant during UNC's player announcement at the start of the game is so loud. It makes all the difference. So it was just more of a thank you and a let's get rowdy, because it's a good win on the road, and they love it and we love their support.
Left hand side, David.
Kenny, at halftime it was 21 even on the boards. You rebounded 31-19 in the second half and overtime. You had 18 offensive boards and 20 second chance points. How big was that? And Matilda had a season high 8 rebounds.
Yeah, it was huge for us. And the last few games, we knew, I think Syracuse, Virginia, they were two of the better offensive rebounding teams in the conference, and we knew that North Carolina had the ability to do the same. And the way that we've been able to essentially dominate the boards in those 3 games, this past week, has really helped put us over the top. And it's a big thing of what we do. A lot of people want to, they want to criticize, or they want to really evaluate our defense. Our defense is pretty good. It's not the conventional defense, but what it is that we play a certain way, but we always keep ourselves in position to defensive rebound. And if you look at the rebounding, we're one of the better defensive rebounding teams in the conference, because we're always in position to rebound. And obviously with Liz being the all-time leader in rebounds in ACC history, that it starts there. But then everybody else, as you mentioned, Matilda's a big guard. Okay, Kayla's a big guard, rebounds. Okay, I even seen Georgia Sky in and get a rebound at the end of the game today to put it away. But that's a point of emphasis for us, and we know if we can handle that, we can win basketball games.
Stay on the left, Carter.
Coach, what were you guys doing defensively to make it so difficult for them today?
Well, I think a lot of it is our length, and we're not going to get out and trap you, and we don't have a lockdown defender on our team, but collectively, we play as a group, and we rely on each other to help and put people in positions, and then, we're going to contest shots. All right, we're going to contest shots and then rebound the basketball, and that's our philosophy. It has been from day one, and the kids are starting to figure out their roles in it.
In the middle, Gio.
Coach, Deja Kelly came in first in the conference, second in the country, and getting to the free throw line. She shot 14 of their 16 free throws today. What did you guys want to do defensively to maybe try and avoid letting her get to the free throw line?
I felt like we were in Charlotte playing against Caitlin Clark, the way she was able to draw fouls. And that's one of the things we have to do, is learn how to play without fouling. Kayla got in foul trouble early. I think Georgia picked up one early. But, you know, and normally I don't think, I mean, she was 13 for 14, I think it was today, and I think she's a 65%, 68% free throw shooter. So credit to her. She really got to where she needed to get to, and she capitalized on that. But we really just wanted to, you know, contest shots. You're not going to shut Deja Kelly down, and especially in this game. You know, there's so much familiarity with, you know, each other. They know each other. I don't even know if either team ran a play successfully because they're calling out our plays, we're calling out their plays, we're beating people to the spot, and then it just becomes a matter of will, and she did a really good job of willing herself to get to the free throw line.
In the back through Nels.
Liz in Georgia, Matilda Eck came up clutch late. Obviously, season-high rebound. Those 2 3-pointers were huge. How have you guys seen her really progress this season and develop into the player she was today?
Yeah, she's just definitely getting comfortable, and I think a lot of us, like, we really try and place emphasis for her to keep shooting. And Tilly's one of those girls, I think, that, you know, her confidence goes as her shot goes. I think earlier this year she wasn't really making as many as she wished, and I think, you know, it kind of toned her out a little, but she's kind of hitting big shots for us, and it's carrying over her confidence into other aspects of her game. But yeah, she's also just a smart. I don't know if it's the European in her or what, but she just has like some smartness to her that she just does, you know, some really clutch things for us.
In the front, right?
Yeah, in the first 3 quarters, you shot well below what you normally shoot. What was it that Carolina was doing defensively to throw your offense off?
You know, I mean, it's familiarity. They know where we like to get the basketball, and I think they mix their coverages up a little bit. But I also know that, you know, those were the shots we wanted to get, and we just didn't capitalize on them. You know, I've seen her, you know, make those shots in her sleep, you know, essentially. But it's just a combination. It's just the game. You know, they know where she wants to get it. They did double her in certain areas. They ran at her a couple times when we were doing some pick and roll things. And there's a few shots that, you know, I know she'll make. You know, but, you know, you have to give them credit for adjusting. But I think that we'll make those shots on a given night.
Stay on the right with Mark, then come over to Will.
To follow up on that, Liz in Georgia, can you each speak to really what UNC's defense was doing to make it a tough shooting day for each of you?
Just what he said, familiarity. And I guess, you know, sometimes stuff happens. Sometimes you miss shots and on to the next one. I think that's been, you know, I think our maturity and growth is that we used to hang on to those type of things, but now I really don't care. I can be 6 for 21. I do not care. We won. That's what I care about.
Marissa, do you have
Yeah, Coach, I guess with a team, you know, like North Carolina, the way, excuse me, they play defense, you mentioned obviously the familiarity, but what does it kind of, you know, take to kind of establish, I guess, a rhythm, if that makes sense, you know, against a team like that defends in the way that they do?
Well, I don't really. I mean, I think you would have considered us in rhythm if she had hit a couple more shots, if she had made a few more of those, and then they were going in, and then it would have looked like we were in rhythm. We were getting the shots we wanted to get. We just didn't make them. Now, I will give them extreme credit. The lads, and you know what, and she did it, and you know, they went zone the last possession of the last 2 possessions of the regulation, and I think we had a turnover, and we didn't get the shot that we really wanted. But you know, she's known for that. You know, they'll mix their defenses up. We're prepared for it. We just anticipated it coming a little bit sooner, and so it did throw us off there a little bit. But they stayed with it. We regrouped, and we were able to get big shots from it.
In the middle.
Can you talk a little bit about how you guys were able to break down UNC's defense today, especially in that overtime period?
Yeah, I mean, again, as I started to allude to, they went zone. They surprised us at the end, and then they stayed with it, and then we got the same play call that we wanted. Knucklehead over here just turned it over on the regulation. She figured it out, and then we were able to, you know, get the shots that we wanted. But you know, overall, it's a tremendous win for us. Very proud of everything. Hokie Nation, they came out today and they were unbelievable. Castle Guard, you know, they were front and center. And I don't know if it was 6,500 here tonight. 5,600. So if it was 5,600, then I assume we had to have at least 1,000 people here, you know, and that's good for women's basketball. It's really good for women's basketball. ACC is representing during their part. You know, we're going to go and play in front of a sellout crowd on Thursday. Played in front of a sellout crowd last Thursday at our place, and it's just been a tremendous showing, and it's because you have a lot of great players, but it's really good, and we had it up. These two have played in the Final Four. We played in Charlotte where we had 15,000 people, We've had 2 sellout crowds at our place already, and then to come and play in hostile environments like this. Syracuse had 6,000 people, so it's really good for our league, man. It really is, and they're getting comfortable playing like that. So even if they do get rattled, it doesn't carry over. Just like Georgia says, she doesn't. I care if she's 6 for 21, but she doesn't. And you know, Liz, I told her she missed a couple. I said, I'm coming to you. And, and it's just because the moment's not too big for them.
Time for 2 more on the left. David, then Carter.
Liz, when you guys aren't hitting shots like that, but you're able to kind of weather the storm, kind of stick together and stay focused, and then get it to overtime. You only turned it over once. It seemed like you guys sort of got into more of a rhythm as the game wore on, thanks to your defense getting stops. What is the way the game ended like this on the road, top 25 team, do for confidence, showing that you guys, obviously you played big games before, but this team can win in close situations?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been learning that about ourselves over the last month or so. I think the main thing that helps us is our short-term memory has really increased. Like, every time out, basically, like, even if we're up by 10 or somebody just missed 4 shots in a row, we say it's 0-0 or you're 0 for out. Like, we just forget all about things that went wrong because dwelling on that's just not going to help us at all. So I think, over the last few weeks, that's really been huge for us, and I think that's helped Tilly step up and be better. I think that's helped Liv step up into her role. And then, obviously me and Georgia have to have that mentality because, as leaders of the team, we have to, be strong mentally. And I think that's what we were able to do tonight. And getting this win is massive. And obviously in the ACC, I know, I'm turning Australian. It's just a perfect word. Yeah, obviously ACC, we're going to have big game after big game. So the carryover will be really important.
Coach, to that point, you were talking about in your opener how you've been pretty neck and neck with this program the last 5 meetings. You guys have won all 5 of those. What is maybe understanding different teams, or what has maybe allowed you guys to finish a little bit better than they have over the years?
Her and her. Yeah, I mean, it's just my job to put them in position, and they're a confident group. From where they've come to where they walked into, to taking a team to an ACC championship, taking Virginia Tech to an ACC championship, taking Virginia Tech to a Final Four. When you have these two alongside of you, nothing's impossible. And their confidence just really spreads throughout everyone else. So regardless, who we're playing, I feel like we have a chance to win the basketball game. And then the familiarity that we have with Carolina, that I think Liz, we were talking about it, I think they put 11 times. Mm-hmm. She's played them 11 times. All right, she's from North Carolina, and so obviously Virginia is our natural rival. Hokie Nation will say UVA, that's the biggest rival. But all student athletes have their own rivals. All right, they have their own, and I would probably say their rival is Carolina. And I've asked Deja Kelly, I'm sure she would probably say Virginia Tech, and because of familiarity that we've been playing, we play each other so many times, and so it's really good. So for us, these two have really taken us to a different level. Like I said, I told the analysts we could put 5 minutes on the clock and say, okay, let's go, and that seems like that's what happens every time we play them.
All right, thank you all.